We have ranked quite a few sniper rifles on this channel throughout the last decade. You heard me right, the last decade. Crazy to think that the channel is a decade old. Snipers, they're a huge part of COD history. Ever since quickscoping was popularized in COD 4, the community has always found new ways to use these rifles to their advantage. Well, today, we're bringing back that topic. We haven't talked about it in a while, and it is time for an updated list. Welcome to the page, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. We're going to be looking at my picks for the 10 best snipers in COD history from COD 4 all the way through Vanguard. And yes, we are going to include Warzone this time, the best of the best. So you let me know which sniper you think is the best in COD history. Some you'll agree with, some you probably won't agree with. And let's get started. At number 10, the Barrett 50 cal in Modern Warfare 2. 5 years ago, this would have obviously been way higher. Now, it's a beast of a rifle. It's often played second fiddle to the legendary Intervention, but it's still at a massive fan club. The Barrett 50 cal featured a 10-round mag and a huge, generous one-shot kill range, almost always killing with a single hit above the waist, as long as you were at least using stopping power. Now, the fire rate cap, 1,200 rounds per minute. So if anybody charged at you, you could just spam the trigger 10 times and probably take them down before they could ever get on you. Now, because of the huge mag and the high fire rate cap, a lot of people preferred the Barrett over the Intervention. The clip potential, it was off the charts back in Modern Warfare 2. I know it had sway and it had recoil, but the weapon was fantastic, and that firing sound, it's one of the best in COD history. Guys, before we move on, go check out the Chaos Facebook page. We are now officially partnered with Facebook Gaming over there. Link is at the top of the description, and we are putting out exclusive content every single day over there. Gaming news, updates, leaks, trailers. Go check it out. We just cruised past 200,000 likes. Thank you to everybody that's over there. And maybe it's your thing. Maybe it's not, but go check it out. At number 9. The Swiss K31 in Black Ops Cold War. Cold War sniping has been a little hit or miss, if you will, because of how much Treyarch patched it. But when the game came out, a lot of people loved the sniping, but then they hated it, but then they loved it, and they hated it. You guys get it. It just bounces back and forth after every patch. Now, the sniping itself has been up and down. But the Swiss, it's largely considered the best sniper in the game, and it's not hard to see why. Quick handling, consistent with its damage, an insane number of attachments available to it. You can fine-tune it to pretty much any playstyle you want. You can play slow, you can play aggressive, you can play stealthy, you can do whatever you want. It's a very good rifle, and I know Cold War may not have been one of the most popular COD games, but the Swiss, it's certainly one of the best snipers in the series. At number 8. Once again, if this list was done 5 years ago, this would be way higher. I'm going to get in trouble for this one. The M40A3 in COD 4. The gun that arguably invented quickscoping. It was your starting sniper in COD 4 and by far the most popular. A bolt-action rifle with fast handling and a rather quick fire rate, the M40 required you to aim high for consistent one-shot kills, but it would reward you handsomely for getting good with it. Plus, if you threw the ACOG scope on there, you actually got a hidden damage boost, which further encouraged people to play aggressive. I don't know where the hidden damage boost came from, but it was there. It was one of the smoothest weapons we've ever seen, and people loved it. If you're looking for a beginning of aggressive sniping and quickscoping, it's not Modern Warfare 2. It's the M40A3 in COD 4. At number 7, the MSR in Modern Warfare 3, easily the most popular sniper in the game. Bolt-action rifle, thunderous firing sound, fast handling, pretty generous one-shot kill range if you look at it. Unlocked rather late in the progression, it was very similar to the Intervention from Modern Warfare 2. Many COD players compared the two rather frequently. It's a little tougher to use than the other snipers in Modern Warfare 3, but it was easily the best for aggressive play, and since MW3 was a very aggressive game for the most part, you saw it on the battlefield a lot. To me, the MSR marks one of the best times for COD on YouTube because of there was just all the great Moab gameplays, the commentaries. It was just a great gun on top of all of that. I'm a little surprised it never came back. I mean, it was that popular, but it hasn't. Maybe we'll get it back in the next Modern Warfare game, and hopefully they don't butcher the firing sound. At number 6, the Locust in Black Ops 3. Now, BO3 sniping was criticized heavily for lack of aim assist and slow down, but it made it much harder than it ever was, especially when you add in people jetpacking and wall running. However, the community, they adapted, they rallied, they did. It was around the Locust, a bolt-action sniper, very reminiscent of the Ballista from Black Ops 2, and now it's remembered as one of the best. It featured very fast handling, a very, very generous fire rate, and a super generous one-shot kill range. Now, the sniping and movement was hard to get used to in Black Ops 3, but the Locust, it rewarded you for putting that time and work in and getting good and mastering the mechanics. So there were so many great montages and gameplays thrown on YouTube with this specific weapon. It was popular enough to be brought back in Black Ops 4 and COD Mobile. I wouldn't be shocked at all if it comes back in the next Treyarch game. But There's still a few Black Ops snipers that I think are even better. Now we arrive at the top 5. The Ballista in Black Ops 2. Now, following the infamous DSR nerf, the Ballista quickly became the popular sniper in the game, and since it found itself cemented in COD history as a top-tier rifle, here it is. Compared to the DSR, much faster, smoother, but a much, much smaller one-shot kill range would force you to aim high and get consistent in order to use it effectively. But if you did, it was off to the races. It was extremely powerful when used correctly, but it was also a very high-skill sniper rifle, which is kind of rare in Call of Duty at that time. If you saw someone dominating with the Ballista, you knew it was because they put the time in, they were good, and you had to respect it. This is another weapon that I'm absolutely certain will make a return in a future Treyarch game, and I'm excited to use it again, although I'd rather just have a Black Ops 2 remastered instead, but don't always get what I want. Number 4, the SPR-208 in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, the sniping in this game was strange because most of the sniper rifles had very slow handling and they weren't very good for multiplayer, but there were a couple bolt-action marksman rifles that were extremely popular. They felt like classic COD sniping. Case in point, the SPR. It was added to the game as part of Season 6. It was a good counterpart to the car. It had fast handling, lots of attachments, firing sound was solid, lots of potential for aggressive gameplay and builds. If you boot up Modern Warfare's multiplayer today, it won't take long until you see somebody running around going nuts with this gun, and it's gotten a lot of attention in Warzone as well. In fact, the SPR completely dominated Warzone when it was first added to the game because of a bug that made it a hit scan. Now, it was patched, but it was crazy. Fantastic rifle. At number 3, the Swiss K31 in Warzone. I know we talked about the Cold War version of the sniper, but it gets another spot because it's almost unanimously considered the best sniper in Warzone. Like I said before, the Swiss has great handling speeds, good fire rate. All the great things about the Cold War version are here as well, but in context of Warzone, where the health is much higher and the gunfights, well, they have a lot more space between them, it's really good. The damage is generous, the ballistics are good, it's still a one-shot kill to the head from any distance, regardless of the target's health. The Swiss is an insanely good sniper for Warzone. Doesn't matter. Play slow, play aggressive, it's good. At number 2, the pre-patched DSR-50 in Black Ops 2. Rest in peace, you beautiful monster. It was one of the most infamous weapons in COD history because of how hard it was nerfed and how much of a storm that patch caused. Upon release, the DSR was far and away the best sniper in the game, arguably the best sniper in Black Ops history. Fire rate was fast, the damage was high, virtually always a one-shot kill, and the cover penetration was excellent. There was a downside, though. It had slower than average ADS speed, but it didn't matter. When you were pumping out this much damage, nobody cared. Nothing even came close to it. Treyarch knew it. It forced them to pump the brakes and bring things down to size. With patch 113, the fire rate of the DSR-50 was reduced. It made it much harder to use effectively. The post-patch DSR is a mid-tier weapon. The original launch version was ridiculous, and people still talk about how busted it was. Now, for the record, I do think the nerf was warranted, and the community certainly overreacted to the nerf, but that goes to show how passionate the sniping community was about the gun. The pre-patch DSR was peak COD sniping. If you experienced it back in the day, you already know what I'm talking about, but there is one gun that it has to be higher. No shocker. At number 1, the Intervention in Modern Warfare 2. It's one of the most legendary sniper rifles in the history of first-person shooters, not just COD, and it's left a permanent mark on the gaming world as a whole. It was the one and only bolt-action rifle in Modern Warfare 2. When you mix it together with consistent damage, fast handling, excellent fire rate, and a ridiculously over-the-top multiplayer, and that sound, you've got the recipe for a gaming icon. The Intervention was an amazing weapon. It gave birth to countless montages, YouTube videos, memes, everything. I've said a few times that the Intervention is the most iconic weapon in COD history, and I stand by that 100%. No other weapon in COD history is as instantly recognizable as the Modern Warfare 2 Intervention. If Infinity Ward decides to bring it back for their sequel, they need to treat it with absolute respect. It's a piece of gaming history, and just looking at it and hearing that firing sound is enough to bring all those memories rushing back. To me, absolutely the best sniper in COD history. Now I know there is a lot of snipers that did not make this list, so tell me 2 of them that you thought were deserving. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.